It's a picture of domestic heaven. And Donald Mellon is your typical doting daddy, a clean-cut family man his little girls admire and adore.
He always helped people without them asking for help. He really was a nice, caring guy.
Donald's family owns successful McDonald's franchises in their hometown of Phoenix, Arizona. And that means Donald, his wife Karen, and their 3 kids have a pretty comfortable life.
We used to go on road trips a lot, family trips to Disneyland and Hawaii, and we got to do a lot of cool things with him like that.
But there are also trips down darker roads.
Unfortunately, he turned to the alcohol, and he just wasn't strong enough to give up the alcohol for his family. And with raising 3 kids, I couldn't do it anymore.
Karen divorces Donald, but how does this clean-cut all-American dad go from this to this? The newly single dad is now under the influence of more than just liquor, drowning his sorrows in the intoxicating charms of an exotic dancer, Rebecca Cheever.
She was some young girl that was stripping, drinking, and she met an older man that had money, and she needed money. He needed company.
Turns out this is no rebound romance. It leads down the aisle and to big trouble. Donald sets himself up in a new home with his new wild child bride and her young son Thaddeus. Now Daddy can really cut loose.
My first thought was, wow, this lady's fun.
Their friend Keita Adair says parties with this odd couple were a blast.
He was very charismatic, funny, one of the most amazing, giving individuals I've ever met in my life. Rebecca was young, beautiful, feisty, fun.
But if you ask Donald's ex, the hard-partying ex-stripper Rebecca was too much fun. Way too much.
She showed my daughter a picture of her giving him oral sex. She was taking them to go egging houses, and the amount of alcohol in the house, I knew that that was not any situation for any child to be in.
All that alcohol isn't good for Donald either.
What was that?
Donald, the clean-cut family man, starts to change. First on the outside, then on the inside. Answering to Rebecca's nickname for him, DJ.
The minute he met her, he turned into DJ, into something that I had no idea who he was anymore.
And DJ and Rebecca are arm in arm, racing down a path of destruction, stocking up not only on liquor, but a terrifying arsenal of guns. Friends say they're locked and loaded in every possible way, and even their party buddies smell trouble.
They woke up, their breakfast was a big old bottle of Chardonnay. By lunchtime, they were drinking vodka mixed with something, doing shots, wine, all night long. And it seemed like they never slept or ate. It was just a recipe for disaster.
And on a hot night in July, that simmering tension explodes.
Phoenix 911, where's your emergency? Hello?
Yeah, my husband is bleeding and I need a vehicle now.
If Rebecca wants Donald to live, she's not helping. Just listen to her incoherent call to 911.
And what's your husband doing?
He's bleeding.
Okay, what happened to him?
I don't know. He's bleeding.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on, ma'am. You're not really giving me any information. Why is he bleeding?
Okay, he's gonna die if you don't set an ambulance
Okay, why is
now.
he bleeding?
I don't know.
But by the time EMS arrives, there's no saving Donald from a single gunshot wound to the head. He's dead at the hospital 2 hours later. And responding officers find this pistol stuffed between the seat cushions. At the police station, a woozy Rebecca tells cops she had been drinking and has no idea what happened to her husband.
I drank 2 drinks, he drank 2 drinks. I came out of the room and then I was like, why are you laying on the ground? What are you doing? And then I was like, oh my God, like there was like blood coming out of his head.
Okay.
And I called 911 like right away.
Rebecca may not know, but Donald's own daughters hear the awful truth for themselves. A message from their father at the very moment Rebecca kills him.
My sister Ashley, she was like, he called me last night. He left me a voicemail. Let's listen to it.
Received yesterday at 9:44 p.m.
So we put the phone on speaker, and my dad said,
Hey, call me. What the
it was like he looked up and he saw her with the gun, because then he says,
What the
and then you heard a boom. And just to know, wow, I heard my dad's last words, you know.
Donald's daughters are sure that's Rebecca, sounding so determined just before she pulled the trigger.
My first thought was, this evil I knew that she was capable of something like this.
Turns out a camera on the living room wall would prove Darcy right. When investigators view security footage at the moment marked 9:44 p.m., full story of that night suddenly emerges.
She flipped out. She killed him.
In a tape so shocking and gruesome, police won't let us show it, Rebecca enters the living room while Donald's leaving that message for his daughter. Rebecca raises a gun to Donald's face, takes aim, and fires. The bullet grazing his skull and lodging in Rebecca's wedding picture.
She went and changed shirts. She went and put on a shirt that said Shooter's World. And then she went back and shot him in the head.
What the tape reportedly shows after that fatal gunshot is just as horrifying. Cops say while blood pours from Donald's head, Rebecca sits down on the couch right next to her dying spouse for 23 full minutes and casually smokes a cigarette.
I think she sat next to him and smoked a cigarette thinking, die, 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 die.
Donald's daughter believes those 23 minutes were the difference between life and death for her dad. By the time Rebecca finally makes that rambling call for help, it's too late to save him.
That to me is what confirms she's evil. How do you not only do that to someone, but then sit and let them die and watch them die?
The video proves it. This is an open and shut case of cold-blooded murder. Or is it? When cops dig deeper into the rest of the home security tapes, shocking discoveries turn the case on its head. Coming up.
The fear that's going on was a daily occurrence for her. She never knew when it was going to happen.
Was this a heartless killing or a desperate act of self-defense?
The officers told Rebecca that DJ was going to be arrested, and she said, "You've killed me. You just killed me. He's going to kill me."